Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and we're here to open your mind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and we are here to open your mind on so many different topics with regard to wellness. We're going to jump in the BMI conversation, the body shaming. Shame, shame, shame on everybody who body shames, because this is a real deep-seated, controversy, I want to say, because, certain people even disciplined by shame. And so we're going to get into all of these different topics throughout the course of the show. And I actually want to start off Wellness Wednesday by reading you a little story, because yesterday I gave a little story and I just felt it was a great way to give perspective. And I found this on Upworthy.com. It was a young girl who was asked about BMI on a test, and her answer was literally mic-droppingly great. She is an Indiana 8th grader, and she was in a PE class, and so everyone was asked to get their BMI, and they had to write, whatever it was about their BMI. And if you don't know what BMI, it's your body mass index. Mm-hmm. And so right after I read this story, I'm going to really dig into Bashan's Jordan of Tiger Rock Nola, who is my 6th black belt champion Taekwondo and all of that. And, of course, Doc Griggs, who is our ambassador of health for the city of New Orleans, because we have these two gentlemen who I'm sure deal with a lot of this, and I want their perspective on it. So the story goes, a few weeks before a certain student got a BMI assignment, every student in the class was weighed in front of their peers and made to calculate their BMI, or body mass index. According to the student's mother, her daughter came home in tears after the exercise. She's perfectly healthy, she eats well, and she's active. But according to her BMI, her body mass index, she was obese. Body mass index is known to be pretty flawed sometimes. And, they have people who love it and people who don't. So I'm just going to leave it right there. It's measuring someone's weight in relation to their height. It often oversimplifies complex health issues by putting people into one of 4 categories, either underweight, normal, overweight, or obese. And so, the little girl went on to, I'm going to read a portion of it. She said, BMI is an outdated way of defining normal weight, underweight, and overweight, and obesity by taking one's personal height divided by their weight. One of the formula's obvious flaws, explains the men's health weight loss coach and nutritionist from California, is that it absolutely no way of discriminating fat and muscle. So let's say there's a fairly athletic woman who maintains a decent diet. She's 5 feet 6 inches and she weighs 190, but 80% of her body is muscle. That doesn't matter when it comes into calculating your body mass index. This woman's BMI will be 30.7 and she will be labeled as obese. So does that make sense to you? So the young girl goes on to say, now I'm not going to even open my laptop to calculate my BMI, and I'm going to tell you why. Ever since I can remember, I've been a, in quotation marks, bigger girl, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm strong and powerful. When you put a softball or a bat in my hand, they are considered lethal weapons. But at the beginning of the year, I started having very bad thoughts when my body was brought into a conversation. I would wear 4 bras to try and cover up my back fat, and I would try to wrap ace bandages around my stomach so I would look skinnier. So my lovely mother did what any parent would do when they noticed something was wrong with me and wrong with her child. She took me to my doctor. My doctor and I talked about my diet and how active I am. He did a couple tests and told me I was fine. He said, although I am a bit overweight, he's not going to worry about me based on how healthy I am. So this is why I don't calculate my BMI, because my doctor, a man who went to college for 8 years studying children's health, told me my height and weight are right on track. I'm just beginning to love my body like I should, and I'm not going to let some outdated calculator and a middle school gym teacher tell me I'm obese, because I'm not. My BMI is none of your concern, because my body and BMI are perfect and beautiful just the way they are. Drop the mic. Mm-hmm. Now, this was a teenage girl in middle school. How many of us have middle school children? I know I do.
Mine's in high school now.
But this is the age where, they start liking each other and they start looking at each other and you start looking at your body and you start, we should always worry about these things, but, we should really focus on our children and how they feel. And do you even pay attention to what's going on? We're going to dive into that conversation a little bit more, but I really want to be specific on BMI right now. Doc Griggs, what is BMI and what's the deal? Body mass index, what is it?
Biting my lip, about to bite a hole in my bottom lip. The BMI, your BMI, of course, is 4 categories. Your BMI of 18.4 is underweight, 18.5 to 24.9, normal weight, 25 to 29.9 is overweight, and 30 or higher is obese. Here's the problem with BMI. The BMI was never meant to be used in this manner. BMI was to be used as an index for measuring a population. BMI doesn't distinguish between fat and muscle. If you come from athletics parents, if you happen to be an athlete, you have thicker thighs, larger back, more musculature. Your BMI, most of our professional athletes, particularly that play your football, would be considered obese. BMI was first brought. It was in the early 20th century. They showed a link between excess weight and an early death. So the doctors and insurance companies were looking for a way to put it together, but they never meant for them to use it as an index.
Really?
No, it was never meant to be used that way. The problem is...
Well, how did it happen?
Well, what happened?
Because it's awful.
It was in 1972. There was
At least I think so.
Ansel Keys. He published a study called The Indices of Relative Weight and Obesity. He conducted a series of tests of male populations to see if pre-existing medical mathematic equations for body fat, it's called the Cutelet Index, that came out in the 1800s, would actually correlate to actual health. Again, he never intended for physicians or insurance companies to use this equation. BMI was too perfect, and it was just a simply quicker, easier way for him to get his calculations for his study, rather than using like the underweight water test, the whole nine. It was just something quick and easy. But the problem was there's an insurance company, which I won't name, that we'd know, that decided that it was great. It was a great excuse for them to charge their clients more. And
so the story goes.
It starts in 72, and so in 85 it got the official stamp of approval because the NIH cited it as an index for obesity. So it's gradually become more and more the accepted standard that makes a healthy weight, even among regular people, seem like it's a problem. So there's also even a problem with gender. Here's the thing, let me tell you. So this was never meant to get out into the general public. This was a number that was cited in a study that was noted for a for-profit company as a way to charge people more money.
Right.
Well, it took off, and it was so simple and easy that that's what we want. That's the whole purpose of what I do. I try to make medicine simple and easy because that's what you remember. Well, rather than look in the mirror and look at your numbers and see how your clothes fit, you'd rather look at yourself and say, oh, I'm overweight and I'm fat. And we're in a society of trying to be way too skinny. We will work so hard to be skinny that we will go unhealthy thinking that it's healthy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This little girl has a lethal weapon. She is an athlete by all definitions of terms. She's happy, she's healthy, and she's thriving. She sounds like she's well adjusted until you put her in front of people. Kids that age already have body image issues.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some of us might have been too short, feet too big, ears too big, nose too big, voice too high. I'm just talking about myself at the time. And if you had me stand up in front of a group of my peers, I'd have a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
That standard used by a gym teacher, only because it's the accepted standard, is the exact wrong way to go about things. The mom did the right thing. You take your child to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
We do live in an obese society. Our obesity, whether it's defined by childhood obesity or by the activity levels of our children and ourselves, is way out of the roof. We see that in the numbers of hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, kids being diagnosed with diabetes mellitus. They don't go outside and play. If you want to assess the wellness of your child, take your child to the doctor, but most importantly, watch your child.
Mm.
If your child is healthy, if your child has body issues, he needs to come to mommy, daddy, grandma, whoever is the guardian, and talk about what's going on. Because you know what's funny is we probably all went through that same phase and didn't have to worry about a stupid number.
Exactly. Well, Shans, how often?
I'm sorry, I ain't have enough to say about that.
Oh no, because we're still gonna talk about it. Trust me, I got lots about it today. We are definitely gonna jump into it. But Shans, with regard to people who are working out, how many times do you find that BMI is, a course of conversation, because I know when I was younger, BMI was, it was something that you just did. There's still BMI calculators, when you want to lose weight. It really puts a stigma in your mind, and once it's set, it's really hard to transform. So when you have people who come in and you're like, wait, it's not as bad as you think it is, or how do you handle that?
I usually try to shut that question down as soon as possible, because personally I've always been, not always, but I've come to learn, like, it's more about first of all, how you feel, and two, it's more about the inches, more so than, I guess, the BMI.
You mean the one thing I hate to measure?
Yeah. Inches, because you're gonna see inches fall off before you see actual weight loss. So, and I'm speaking from personal experience. I was over about 35 pounds heavier, and obviously I look fatter. And you could see it all in my face and in my clothing and things like that. So when I made a lifestyle change, one of the first things you saw was the inches dropping. Now, if I got on the scale, it would still look the same in some aspects, but overall, I was feeling different. Muscle. Yeah, no? Not really.
Well, I'm asking.
No, not really. It just, I guess that the once you, I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see the inches drop faster. Like, you'll see your face getting smaller. Those
That's
things,
my favorite part.
Those small little things that,
like, your face looks smaller. We're like,
yeah.
Thank you.
And that's like the first indicator that you're actually, progressing in your lifestyle change. So, I say you take out a tape measure. That's something I used to never do before. I didn't like measure myself. I was like, I know I'm big.
I have one in my bathroom now. Thanks,
but that,
Sean, it's all your fault.
You're welcome. But it works though. It works. I feel, because I don't like measuring myself. I mean, not measuring myself, weighing myself. I'm sorry. I don't like weighing myself.
I don't even have a scale anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even have a scale. Thank you, Bashan.
I do it when I go to see a doctor. Then, I weigh that much now. Okay. But you can't, because now that I'm doing more weight training and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to go by. You don't want to go by that. I mean, technically, I'm actually I'm bigger now than I was when I really started dropping weight.
Really?
I lost
as far
30
as
pounds,
weight,
and I'm still obese.
Yeah, as far as weight.
Where is it?
If you did the BMI thing, just like the young lady,
you would be obese on your BMI.
I'll probably.
Are you serious?
I'll be obese. Yeah,
I don't even want to look.
I'll be overweight.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Because this isn't just a female issue. This is a male and female issue.
Yeah. So the NIH, they did in 85 between 85 and 98, they tried to differentiate between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 98, they went back with no differentiation, and then they had no comment as to why they didn't differentiate. But here's the thing. Instead of assessing all this stuff, which is good, you want to do the measurement and all that stuff. If you must measure, why don't you level measure? If you're doing a healthy lifestyle, measure your activity. If you could walk one block last week and you can walk 2 blocks this week, I wasn't even trying to. And as you know, I lost 30 pounds since December. I wasn't trying to lose weight.
And there it is about that feeling.
How
do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel you have more energy? Because usually when you're overweight, you're going to be tired quicker, and just getting off the couch is a task. Walking to your car is a task.
If you want to use numbers, go to your doctor. Ask about your blood pressure. Ask about your cholesterol. Ask about your hemoglobin A1C or whatever your blood sugar is. Ask about how healthy you are. And then, pick some. That's what I tell people. So, you find your own marathon. Not everybody wants a marathon, half marathon. If you want to do a 2K, pick a race, pick a goal, and start working towards that goal.
Pay for it first. Because then you're really inspired because your money's invested.
Right. As we have goals, we tend to work harder for them and let the goal be your focus. Let your goal be to change one shelf in your refrigerator a week and eat off that shelf.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And then make it 2.
Yeah.
And then make it 3. The next thing you know, you're eating healthy.
Yeah.
And it changes. Things just change. But go by your numbers. Go by the way you feel. Or pick a picture. But not a weight.
Yeah.
But pick a picture. I want to look like I did in high school.
There you go.
Pick a dress. Pick a suit.
Yeah.
But don't worry about the scale.
Before
and do
the
it,
baby.
do it healthily, because I'm telling you, I have the one-legged diet that I told y'all about. I can guarantee you and promise you, the Dr. Griggs one-leg diet, you will instantly lose between 10 and 15 pounds. Your clothes will fit differently because I'm going to cut off your leg. You're going to want that leg and need that leg later.
Yeah.
And then you're going to end up spending a whole bunch of money trying to buy another leg. as opposed to gradually being forgiving of yourself and following your numbers in the mirror.
Wow.
And it's funny because we think that, it's only some of the, only certain segments have body shaming and only certain segments, fall prey to this. But I have a story when we come right back about a Victoria's Secret model who was told she needed to lose weight. So make sure you stay tuned. This is Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about BMI, body shaming, and shame on you if you're shaming somebody. Open your mind. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
This is attorney Hester Hilliard with the Hilliard Law Firm. Is your home in foreclosure? Are your bills piled so high that you can hardly see your way through? Does your family or friend have a pending criminal charge and they need a lawyer they can trust? And what about your property? Who will receive your assets or take care of your children in the event of your death? If you have concerns, we have answers. The Hilliard Law Firm offers professional legal representation, and we're here to help you, whether you need assistance with bankruptcy, foreclosure defense, criminal defense, wills or estate planning, successions, child support, or child custody. Call the Hilliard Law Firm at 504-729-6133 or visit our website at www.hilliardlaw.com. Don't wait or procrastinate. Your help is only a phone call away. So call us today, 504-729-6133.
L&R Security keeps our family, friends, and event goers safe. And to do that job, they are looking for you. L&R Security Services is now hiring persons for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, armed and unarmed guards. All interested persons should contact L&R Security Office at 504-943-3191. Fill out an application at L&R's office at 3930 Old Gentilly Road. That's New Orleans, Louisiana. To become one of the proud workers of L&R Security, the minimum requirements are 18 years of age, a completed work application, and criminal background check, 2 forms of ID, whether it be a driver's license, state ID, military ID, social security card, or other forms of picture ID. L&R Security is looking for qualified employees to assist in keeping the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival safe. They are looking for you. Again, contact them at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191. L&R is always looking for armed and unarmed guards. If this is your profession, they're looking for you.
Dillard University Office of Community Relations, in partnership with Progressive Baptist Church, New Hope Baptist Church, and Union Bethel AME Church, proudly hosts the Central City Community Health Festival, Saturday, April 9th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Progressive Baptist Church, located at 1214 South Robertson Street. This free event will feature over 60 vendors providing diabetes testing, healthcare screening, financial services, and more. There will be a gospel tent featuring Progressive Baptist Church, Union Bethel AME, and more. Food vendors, kids activities. This free event is one you don't want to miss. The Central City Community Health Festival, Saturday, April 9th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, call 504-473-1141.
Gentili Italian Pie is home to the $5 Family Happy Hour. Specials on pizza, wings, and drinks Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Gentili Italian Pie does fresh for the entire family. Salads, pizza, pasta, wings, and oven-baked sandwiches. Gentili Italian Pie offers lunch and dinner in a new, modern atmosphere surrounded by big screen TVs. Dine in or carry out by calling 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. Relax. Have a drink from the fully stocked bar or beer on tap while your order is made from the freshest ingredients. Gentili Italian Pie, 4706 Paris Avenue, is home where everybody knows your name. So bring the family to Paris and Marabout for the $5 Family Happy Hour, Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's Gentili Italian Pie. Dine in or carry out. 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. You gotta try the pie. That's the original Italian pie, located at Paris and Marabout in Gentili.
This is Jonathan Wilson, president of 100 Black Men of New Orleans.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and we are here to open your mind. But before we do that, we want to give props to the Morris Reed Jr. Law Firm. They are a full-service law firm that fights vigorously to get you the money you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or you've been charged with a crime, Morris Reed Jr. will help you. Let their highly experienced, qualified attorneys provide you with expert legal help today. Call 504-488-HELP, 504-488-4357. You can find them online at morrisreedjr.net. That is morrisreedjr.net, because that is the good life. Because what's not the good life is sitting there in shame, letting your legal bills, in your legal situation pile up without reaching out. So make sure you reach out to the Morris Reed Jr. Law Firm, because they are the good life. He's a great guy. He's building an amazing firm, and he really cares about his clients. So make sure you reach out to Morris Reed Jr. You can go online at morrisreedjr.net. Right there on the right-hand side, you can type in your information, and they will respond as soon as possible. So make sure you do that, because that is the good life. But do y'all know what the good life is not?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
What's not is body shaming. And I found, what's sad is I found so many articles about this on both sides of the equation. From the body shaming with children, adults, male, female, everything. So I want to give you this little story from BusinessInsider.com. It's about a Victoria's Secret model. And, this isn't generally the side that you would think, are body shaming, because they're already on the smaller end. I will just put it that way.
I've heard.
Besides wrote a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what did you say?
No, I've heard some stories about.
Really?
But you go ahead.
Okay, no. So I'm going to read the story, and then you tell me your story.
Yeah.
So the Victoria's Secret model, have admitted to working out strenuously before their annual fashion show. And that's pretty universal that they understood that they have to watch what they eat. But one former angel has recently revealed that she was told that she had to slim down before the show. She said her last 2 Victoria's Secret shows, she was told that she had to lose weight. And she said she looked back at them like, really? She said she became really depressed because she was working so hard and she felt like her body was resisting her. She said she got to the point where one night I got home from a workout and I remembered staring at my food and thinking, maybe I should just not even eat. And her last name is Heatherton. She said she's no longer a model for the lingerie, firm. And she shared a photo on Instagram and explaining how she struggled with body image. And, the breakdown to the breakthrough moment in her life has allowed her to become the truest version of herself. She said in her moment of failure, i.e. failure, this is a Victoria's Secret model. She said, I stood in the face of adversity. She said, I was struggling with my body image and the pressures to fulfill the demands of perfectionism upon herself. She said, I am not perfect. They said the average, not the average, but the notoriously strict limitations upon the angels and their prospective models, they must be 5'9" with the desired measurements of 34, 24, 34. Y'all know y'all make fun of it. What's that song, 36, 24, 36? I'm like, is that realistic? for some people, maybe if they just have a tiny waist and like
it all depends on
a
your
large
height,
bottom, then
the whole nine.
but exactly like you said, the distribution and the whole nine. But if that's natural for you, yes. But if it's something that you're aiming for and it's not a natural measurement for your body, that's very difficult to attain. And if that you are basing that upon your beauty, how does that work out?
That's
a difficult question.
That is a difficult
Well, I have Bobby Clark Alexander on the line from the ATL. She is my partner in getting our mind right. Bobby, there's been so much body shaming over the years with male and female. It's how do you feel when you're doing a beach vacation? Most people sometimes don't even have a beach vacation because they don't want to like take off their shirt or whatever the situation may be. They feel. Dr. Rick said not in Europe. We want to open our mind to living differently in the world and stop shaming people with regards to their body. Everybody's different.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good morning, guys. I was just thinking, Eileen, when you were actually setting me up to come on, I have people say, I'm trying to lose weight because I want to wear a two-piece, and I'm thinking I never stop wearing one.
There you go, Bobby. There you go.
That is.
That's
my
the good
weight
life.
has fluctuated throughout the years, but what I have done, I have changed the types of two pieces that I purchased, but I still wear two-piece.
You wear what makes you happy.
Exactly. And so, but the body shaming thing, it's overboard. And just thinking about the modeling business and everything, it still is a man's world, even though there are a lot of women in it. Men drive that business as well. And they have this image in their mind, and they will literally drive someone over a cliff because of their anal thought process of perfectionism that they have placed in their mind. And like I said, they're driving the business. You have to actually do just like that model did. You have to come to yourself at a point, or you can allow someone to drive you over a cliff.
Exactly. Because what's crazy is that, the Victoria's Secret show, and we're not just bashing Victoria's Secret, it's the industry in general.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't want it to seem like that. So the industry in general, they have this huge fashion show, but there's fashion shows all over. But men sit there and watch it, and of course they do have, it's lingerie, and it's very little clothes, and you may have I want a woman that looks like that, or and now you're listening. This is what it takes for a woman to look like that. She's literally starving herself and working out. She was, and it goes on to say like 3 times a day she was working her out and deciding not to eat. Now, who can live like that? And so if you know that that's what it takes to look like that as the model's walking down the runway, how do you balance that with, what you want? Because that's what you see as, oh yeah, I want that. But is it really attainable in a healthy way?
So you have to define healthy. Again, we need to get away from, there are images. For
most people.
I grew up in a household. My grandmother would tell me, babe, because, again, being an underachiever when it came to height at an earlier age, with big feet, big ears, big nose, high voice, my grandma instilled in me, if you don't like it, don't look.
Yeah.
If you keep looking, you must like it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, shut your mouth. Bottom line. Now, you have to be happy within yourself. And, Bobby, you can talk about this. We talk about it all the time. Wellness starts with your mind and what you think. You have to really like who you are every day. Now, are there health issues that can be attributed to obesity? And are some of us obese? You know whether or not you're fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Straight up. I mean, just it doesn't get any easier than that. And this is Dr. Griggs saying that you know whether or not you're fat. You can't button them jeans, your stomach, you got that Dunlap and all that other stuff. But there's nothing to be ashamed about.
Tell the truth.
Well, nothing to be ashamed about. 2/3 of the U.S. has been, not even by BMI. We fat. We don't do anything. We don't go outside. We are fat. We don't even go outside and do what we like to do. We like to walk, talk, and dance. We don't even do it no more. We want to play on our phones. We fat. You know you fat. I know I'm fat. But you can lose weight, and it's not a problem with that. There's nothing to be ashamed of because it's all within your control. I didn't say you weren't beautiful.
Yeah.
Didn't say that at all. But didn't say that you can't lose weight and be healthy because that's even more beautiful.
Right, because your weight shouldn't define who you are.
Your weight does not define who you are. Go to your doctor. Find out what your family hits. Get checked, get fit, get moving. Find out what your numbers are. What are you on your way to doing? If I keep eating all the Thin Mints from the Girl Scout cookies at 1 a night, I'm going to sleep worse. I'm going to have heartburn. My blood pressure is going to go up.
That many in a box.
I'm just saying, you're right. I mean, it is what it is.
They should put them in packages of 4, not 2 long rows.
If I would eat 4 packages of 4. Admit to yourself that you have flaws and that it's okay. Once you accept
y'all know
the
y'all
fact,
ate a row of Girl Scout cookies.
I did last night. I'm not kidding.
I don't
It happens.
I had 1 box this year. I was like, that's it.
I'll never do that. But my point is, you have to admit to yourself that you do have flaws and accept those. Everyone does, but don't judge yourself. Admitting that you have a flaw and judging yourself for that flaw are 2 different things. Go by your numbers, go by your family history, lose weight, find something you like to do, and have fun with it. And the smaller portions that you eat, the more different type of foods you can enjoy. And if y'all think Doc is fat, don't look at me. I'm good.
Exactly. An amazing doc. My new doctor is Asian. And we've been talking about that very thing that you're saying right now, and he did a great job of sitting with me with my family history, talking about different things, life stresses, and, all of those types of things that you talk about all the time on the show. And we had such a great consultation. It made me feel so good that I wasn't that off, but it was mental. It wasn't just physical. It was a mental consultation. So it made me feel even better. And he started saying, I want you just to begin to, Bobby, try and eat like me if you endeavor to do so. And it was so funny. I fell out laughing. We had a great laugh. He's Asian. He's got this little body and everything, but we had a great laugh. But it was a great consultation. Go to your doctors. Talk to your doctors.
And we're really going to get into that. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're really going to get into that. Where does the body shaming come from right after this segment? But before we do that, I want Bashan to talk about something that he does so very well that I know can really help a lot of us on this topic. Watch out! Because I don't do it. And, Bobby, if I did it, I know it would be a lot easier. Mm-hmm. But I don't do it. And I actually read about it last night, and I was like, Bashans would love this topic. You know what will make a difference?
What?
Food
and
prepping.
I am going to get with him. He's going to have to help me. I am Bashan. I promise you. We're going to get together.
Food prepping.
Let me tell you something.
Bashan is like the master of food prepping. And I don't do it. I have some days I'm good. Some week. Well, just go Bashan.
You know what? That changed my life literally. Let me tell you something. Preparing your meals for for whatever. I prepare my lunches for the whole week. So some people don't like it because they don't like eating the same thing over and over again. You know what? It's a mindset because guess what? You eat McDonald's every day. You eat Popeyes every day. You eat Wendy's every day. You eat Taco Bell. You eat fast food every day. That's the same thing. It's a mindset. So, I started doing that. It's been almost probably a year now that we've been doing that. And
it's so good.
You got to learn how to mix it up. And, Has
it changed your life?
Oh yeah, tremendously. I mean, obviously, if you feel healthier, you don't feel sluggish. I cannot eat fast food anymore. Really? My body rejects it in so many ways. I get sick. So I had a piece of Popeyes last night. I immediately disagree with me. That's all I can say. It immediately disagreed with me.
What? I would love to get to the point where that disagreed with me. I have not reached that peak of life yet.
I cannot eat fast food. I cannot. And I don't cook, so my wife does it for me. So thank God for her. But but she, sometimes let's say.
So you've learned to do it together, obviously.
Yeah, I help her out. I know how to do some stuff now. But I learned how to buy stuff. I can buy. But other than that.
So how much easier would this be if we made it a family task?
It takes.
Invite the children in.
It takes about an hour and a half to do for the whole week.
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half to do for the whole week. Because all it takes is boiling broccoli,
now you're making me just feel bad.
Sweet potatoes, brown rice.
I do mine in the microwave to stay
brown rice.
Brown rice, and then I'll do substitute chicken sometimes, or I'll do salmon. And you just grill those. You put
sweet potatoes,
squash, with no extra stuff on it, just light cinnamon on it, asparagus. All these things you just put in, boil it, and then let it go.
I ain't eating no beets, bruh.
Beets actually are really good. I'm not a beets fan,
Me
but
either.
what we just started doing is juicing and also
Beets are good
fusing.
for you, by the way, seriously.
Fusing the water.
I
So
can eat other purple stuff.
that's another good thing.
Eggplant.
Try fusing.
I like
So,
eggplant.
but let me tell you
Work
something.
it out a different way.
If you should just try it. Just try it. I'm telling you, it's
Meal
the-
prepping, y'all.
It's the best thing in the world.
I'm gonna try.
You got to try, do it Sunday, and then prepare. Let's do it for at least
But you know what's funny?
3 days.
Louise,
3 days.
Like people in New Orleans, we already food prep. You know, you make your red beans, you make,
Beans?
your
Beans are
pork
good.
chops,
Well, here's the
your
thing, though.
smothered chicken.
Chopping your own seasoning
You
is
do
part
that
of the
already.
prep. We like
Yeah.
chopping seasoning.
Exactly.
That's when you had the best conversation.
Exactly.
We just have
Chopping
to change the food. We just have to change the food
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
prepping.
This dude said
Exactly.
I ate one piece of Popeyes. I ain't never heard that before in my life. That's why you got sick. You ate one piece of Popeyes.
Yeah, that's,
Exactly.
It made me sick quick.
And what's sad is that we're keeping our children sick. And so when we get back, we're going to discuss how the shaming starts when we're young and how we can turn that around. We'll be right back. This is Good Life, y'all, on Wellness Wednesday.
Tune in to Up to Date here on WBOK 1230 AM. Up to Date is a daily show that covers the day's top events and how they affect you. I'm John Slade, and I'll be your host for Up to Date, airing Monday through Friday at noon on WBOK 1230 AM. Real talk for real times.
This is Jonathan Wilson, president of 100 Black Men of New Orleans. 100 Black Men is an organization dedicated to the development of our youth with the objective of making them self-reliant, independent thinkers committed to excellence. We mentor young men and women to be productive citizens. 100 Black Men supports health and wellness initiatives and promotes economic empowerment for our people. We call for the unification of public schools as a first step in ensuring quality education for our children. We urge you to join with us to make sure that New Orleanians control the destiny of our youth and that policies are created to ensure transparency, equity, and accountability for all. A true story of resilience should conclude with a single high-performing school district governed by local citizens. Contact the 100 Black Men at 208-9337 to join our efforts. Thank you.
L&R Security keeps our family, friends, and event goers safe. And to do that job, they are looking for you. L&R Security Services is now hiring persons for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, armed and unarmed guards. All interested persons should contact L&R Security Office at 504-943-3191. Fill out an application at L&R's office at 3930 Old Gentilly Road. That's New Orleans, Louisiana. To become one of the proud workers of L&R Security, the minimum requirements are 18 years of age, a completed work application, and criminal background check, 2 forms of ID, whether it be a driver's license, a state ID, military ID, social security card, or other forms of picture ID. L&R Security is looking for qualified employees to assist in keeping the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival safe. They are looking for you. Again, contact them at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191. L&R is always looking for armed and unarmed guards. If this is your profession, they're looking for you.
We need more police in all of our neighborhoods. That's why a yes vote for the public safety proposition is so important. It will raise the funds to hire and train more police officers. More police in our neighborhoods means safer neighborhoods and will reduce police response time to emergency calls for help. Vote yes and help our police and firemen protect and serve us. Vote yes on April 9th. Paid for by the New Orleans Firefighters Association, Local 632.
Gentilly Italian Pie is home to the $5 Family Happy Hour. Specials on pizza, wings, and drinks Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Gentilly Italian Pie does fresh for the entire family. Salads, pizza, pasta, wings, and oven-baked sandwiches. Gentilly Italian Pie offers lunch and dinner in a new, modern atmosphere surrounded by big screen TVs. Dine in or carry out by calling 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. Relax. Have a drink from the fully stocked bar or beer on tap, while your order is made from the freshest ingredients. Gentili Italian Pie, 4706 Paris Avenue, is home where everybody knows your name. So bring the family to Paris and Marabou for the $5 family happy hour, Tuesday through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's Gentili Italian Pie. Dine in or carry out. 504-826-9180. That's 504-826-9180. You gotta try the pie. That's the original Italian pie, located at Paris and Marabou in Gentilly.
Hi, this is Norman Robinson. New Orleans East Hospital is open and providing quality health care in your neighborhood. The New Orleans East Hospital is bringing our finest physicians into a beautiful new facility where you receive compassionate caring service. Emergency room services at New Orleans East Hospital are some of the best in the region. To learn more, visit our website at noehospital.org. Your health matters to us at New Orleans East Hospital.
Frederick Douglass wrote, "It is easier to raise healthy children than to fix broken men." This is why Lil Dizzy's Cafe chooses to salute the 120 men of the Silverback Society for investing in themselves and leading the next generation of boys to a more respected, capable, and responsible manhood. Currently working with over 500 boys in 17 elementary schools in New Orleans, plus one in Biloxi, the Silverback Society's mission is to make sure every boy gets to learn the principles, methods, and pride of real manhood before entering high school. Founded in 2007 by Arthur Wadsworth and Lloyd Dennis, the Silverback Society has men from all walks of life, walking the walk, saturating our community with boys who are trained to think about and prepare for tomorrow. Lil Dizzy's Cafe is proud to acknowledge the leadership of these regular men who are doing extraordinary things. Together, this celebrated moment brought to you by Lil Dizzy's Cafe.
Hey, it's Chuck Perkins of The Conscious Hour at WBOK 1230 AM, here to tell you about my friends over at Liberty Bank and Trust Company. Liberty knows that there's never been a better time to buy a home. Their mortgage professionals will show you how to take advantage of this great real estate market with extremely low interest rates and give you the knowledge you need to achieve your goal of home ownership, whether it be refinancing, buying your first home, or breaking ground on new construction. Liberty Bank is there to help along the way. Call today at 504-420-5288 or visit www.libertybank.net to find out how you can let them make your American dream come true. FDIC, an equal housing lender.
When it comes to the voice of the people, we're the choice of the people. New Orleans' own WBOK 1230 AM. Real talk for real times.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and we're here to open your mind. And I hope you are living the good life with me on Thursday, April 21st at the Hyatt Regency Hotel at 11:30 a.m. The New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce will be hosting its 2016 annual meeting. We will have two keynote speakers. There will be Senator Karen Carter Peterson, who has been recently reelected as the state party chair, so congratulations to her, and State Representative Walt Leger. They will be discussing the budget crisis, and we all know how it affects all of us. Or if you don't, make sure you're there because they're going to let you know. They're going to answer all of the questions that you really need to know about your business. So make sure that you are at the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce annual luncheon on Thursday, April 21st. Thursday, April 21st. Make sure you register at norbchamber.org, norbchamber.org, because that is the good life. But you know what isn't the good life? Bobby, you know what isn't the good life?
Body shaming.
Body shaming.
Ooh, she read the card.
She read I am back with Doc Griggs and Bobby Clark Alexander of the ATL. She is my life coach, and shame is one of those things that unfortunately is kind of like just in us. And when you recognize what it is, it's so difficult to get out of us. You know, no one is born with shame. It is a learned, self-conscious emotion which starts at roughly 2 years of age. And I'm getting this from the nationalchild.org. You know, with advent of language and self-image. Although humans are born with a capacity for shame, the propensity to become ashamed in specific situations is, guess what? Learned behavior.
Yes, it is.
So this means that wherever there is shame, there has been a what? A shamer. We learn to be ashamed of ourselves because someone of significance in our lives puts us to shame. Shaming messages are more powerful when they come from those we are closest to, from people we love, we admire, we look up to. That's why parents use shaming and why their use of shaming have the deepest effects on children. However, shaming message from teachers, older siblings, and peers can be as impressionable as any other. And y'all all know that as adults, you had that moment when you were in, middle school or elementary school, and you remember something that happened that made you feel inadequate. Everybody has that moment, or everybody,
right.
Can, fall back on that or has that in the back of their mind. And, we want to open our mind to living differently in the world, to how we speak to one another, how we speak to our children, because it has lasting effects. And we don't even know that we're doing it. But we too often are disciplining by shame. And it's not the good life. Bobby?
Eileen, you just put us into a great, great flow. I have a perfect example of that, and it's a fine line, and I want you guys to rebuttal on it, and the listening audience call in if you guys can. Before I left New Orleans, my daughter marched in a Mardi Gras parade, and the little girls had two-piece sets. They were beautiful. Well, she was about 8 or 9, and when you're that age, you have the little pudge, little tummies hanging out and everything. Well, she didn't have one, but there was this one little girl, and she had a big, big, big tummy, and then her little navel stuck out in addition to that. And so I was thinking this is what I want to just present to everyone. Like I said, I've always worn two-piece swimsuits, but I've changed the type of swimsuit. They have high-rise, like, bottoms now. When I got a little pudgy after I had my kids, I changed the type. Can we, Eileen, kind of reassess what we do when our body takes the changes, not to promote shame, but say, let's accentuate the body change and curves a little bit better. It's like, what's wrong with that? Why can't we be positive when and just acknowledge, like the doc said, okay, when you're getting fat, or when you're getting some extra fine on. Can we, Eileen, maybe just deal with this of acknowledging that we made some changes, or even with the kids, because kids are mean.
Yes.
And
sometimes
kids are mean.
We're mean to the kids. Y'all know when you go into a family event or the holidays and you haven't seen a child in a little while, and y'all know when kids are in that like 10 to 12 age range before they've lost the baby fat. Some kids are just naturally thin. Some kids aren't. I absolutely despise when you have family members that say something about your child. I'm like, if you have something to say it to me. Do not say it to my child. It is an issue. We're going to go to the lines. I have Miss Ruth. She was a first-time caller on line 2. Miss Ruth, welcome to The Good Life. We're discussing shaming.
Thank you, because you are just right on target. And once that person eats and eats and eats and gets at a certain weight, and their body flesh begins to be completely out of control, and then kids can be very, very mean. The ones that are not have not put on weight tease the ones who have, and that just makes it worse. And it goes up, and the person thinks that it's under no circumstances can they be a normal person. But I'm here to tell you that you can be a normal person, quote unquote normal. I have always been a small person. I am 5'2", and I went to work at an organization. It's a great organization, but we were eating out every day. Mm-hmm. And before I knew it, I had gained. I had gone from wherever I was to 149 pounds. When I was pregnant, I didn't weigh 149 pounds. And when I looked at myself, I said, this is it. So we have to make up our mind that this is it. And I just decided that I would go and eat healthy. And that's been 8 years ago.
Wow.
And I weighed this morning, and I'm 116.
Congratulations, Miss Ruth.
Yeah, Miss Ruth, I'm very, very proud of you for that.
This is what there are no excuses. Well, my mother was like this, and my grandmother was like this. No, and you know why? Because you all ate the same food the same way, cooked it the same way. So what I did was I do fruits. I buy fresh fruit, and I eat that for breakfast. And sometimes I eat it for lunch.
You found something that worked for you.
Anything fried. Nothing fried. All of my meat, which is either turkey or chicken. Nothing else. Nothing fried. And what I do is I bake it, or I just put it on the stove, flip it over a couple of times, and it's perfect. I can make a turkey burger. Turkey has gone, they have you can get turkey in any form.
Yes.
Just about. And I use that as my meat. I eat my vegetables, and I buy healthy vegetables. And when I cook them, I don't put meat in them. I don't put grease in them. I eat them as are. And one thing that's the most important is teaching people how to shop. My husband said, well, what took you so long? Because I'm reading labels.
Yes, label reading. That's something that Dr. Riggs talks about a lot. Thank you so much for your call, Ms. Ruth. You hit on so many really important points. I'm going to let Doc Riggs and Bobby hit on those as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bobby, you can help me here. I was playing, but I wasn't playing earlier when I said you have to acknowledge the fact you know when you're fat. And it's not until you acknowledge the fact you see something or you don't feel right that you decide to make a change.
Yeah.
And just like getting skinny didn't happen overnight, getting overweight, it took years to get that way. So when I tell you, if you don't like it, don't look. The whole time that I was losing weight training for the marathon, and I'm training for an ultra now, I wore the same clothes, so I'm fat. I acknowledge the fact. You know what? I'm fat. So what?
But you know what, Doc Riggs? Here's the thing about shame. You did it when you decided that you wanted to do the marathon, right?
Right.
You can't shame somebody into wanting to lose weight. How many people try to shame people into losing weight?
No, and that's
it is so backwards.
It's backwards.
You make them eat in their room by themselves. Children have stuff under their bed. It's awful.
Have decided that they will make someone feel bad to get them to lose weight, and it's a form of control. And I'm big into mental health, and so the big side of it, like Doc said, we can't. Once you recognize, we got to deal with truth, and you got to watch how you talk and speak to people. That is a human being. That is a person. That is a real life that you could be impacting with your words. This is what I'm trying to incorporate in here. When you do decide and you make the change, you start wanting to make the change, you're not going to lose the fat and the weight overnight. Mentally, I just want to share that you guys can change the way that maybe the stuff that you wear, the clothes that you put on, okay, that doesn't appreciate my shape right now. So I'm going to, buy, something that maybe pulls it in a little bit more, not having it all over. Sometimes we do the extra by just figuring ourselves. We have to be in touch with us. We have to love us. We have to look in the mirror and say, does this look good? Am I happy? Do I feel good, about what I'm putting on? There's nothing wrong with just putting that little extra time until you get it like you want. Guess what? You'll be happy.
Exactly.
But, of course, take the time with you until you get to where you want to be.
Exactly. And just like we were talking about food prep, with doing it with the family and, teaching new habits, parents, the only way that we're going to change this is through our parenting. Because at some point, you have to, that's how we're going to change it, through our parenting. We have to change it for our children. And parents often do to their children what was done to them. That's how you learn. It's known that, violence can be passed down, our ways of eating, your positive traits, your negative traits, they're passed down through generations. And many parents realize that they are perpetuating a cycle in which they are shaming their children in the same way that they were once shamed by their own parents. So those have forgotten the sting and humiliation of being shamed. Those are at risk of being insensitive to the shame that they inflict on their own children. So I ask you today to open your mind to living differently in the world. Think about how, where it's like, oh, they're just our children. No, they're little people. They're going to grow up to, take care of us one day. Hopefully, they're going to be the heads of companies. They're going to be the president of the United States. And, and we don't want them to lead by fear and to lead by shame. But if that's what we instill in them, that's exactly what they're going to do. So open your mind to living differently in the world. Think about it, y'all. Did you like how you were shamed when you were little? Stop shaming other people and stop doing our children.
Abuse, a lot of people don't understand.
And it lasts a lifetime. It absolutely lasts a lifetime. And this is really personal because I saw it happen to a child recently. And to see how that child, became introverted and they were such, an active child was really disheartening for me. I found out that the child was like hiding food in their room. They didn't even want to eat in front of other people because that's how they made them feel. So think about what you say. You're like, oh, you're a little pudgy. Those comments and those words really do sting children. And you are adults.
It's stinging adults too.
It stings to adults too. So open your mind to living differently in the world. Everything you think does not need to come out your mouth. And if you mean it in a constructive way, make sure it's delivered that way. This is A Good Life. It's Wellness Wednesday. Open your mind. I'm out.